Hello and welcome back to our life. I'm Twilight,
And I'm KG.
and today we're doing Serendipity.
Yes, I think that's
Yes.
Serendipity.
Yeah, we're doing that one.
Yep, and it is a DLC, which I'm excited for. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Light fluttered down through the leaves of an oak tree overhead, casting speckled shadows on the sidewalk all around you. There was a drop of sweat slowly making its way down the side of your face. You flicked it away with your thumb, slowing to stop in a cool shade. Today you had out and about in town, in no hurry to go anywhere in particular. Your morning shift had just ended and there was nothing else planned for the rest of the afternoon. Your moms were still at work themselves, and Liz left early in the morning to do something. You had no idea. You took out your phone, idly nodding the time when it started to jingle. The screen lit up in your hand. Speak of the devil, Liz messaged you. Hey, come home ASAP. Before you can even begin to question why, your phone went off again. Nothing bad, but you have to come see this, so come back already. And with that final message, you were left only slightly less confused than you were before. You hadn't seen much of your sister lately. She's been acting strange for days, always shutting herself up in her room. Which wouldn't be so weird if at dinner table she didn't and suddenly start smirking to herself over nothing. The rare times you did see her, she would sneak you expectant looks like she was waiting to be asked what was up, but all your questions led up to nowhere. She answered you put upon sight, proclaimed that she was busy, and tell you that she would have to talk about it later. No hints, no guessing, whatever it was, she was determined to keep it a secret. Maybe you'd finally find out what it was. As you did about face on the sidewalk and started heading home, you received more texts. To your surprise, the name that popped up on your screen this time was Cove's. Hey, did you hear from Liz? About something urgent you have to see? She messaged Cove too? You weren't surprised. Liz teased him about it, but he was like family. However, you were struggling to understand how he fit into Liz's surprise.
Yeah, Liz sent me the same thing. What? Is there something on fire? Why would Liz tell you her news? Is something on fire?
Same. His reply only came seconds later as you waited to cross the street. Something tells me it's not that. Something tells me it's not that, and something tells me that you know that too. You laughed to yourself as you read his message, a short-lived joke, but you knew when to let things go.
You got me, detective. Too bad that's all I know.
Are you gonna see what's up?
I'm walking there now.
Me too. Glancing up, you saw the light had changed to a walk sign while you were busy texting. You hurriedly wrapped things up and texting Cove a quick goodbye before crossing the street. It was fine. You'd be seeing him later anyway. Not expecting any more message, you put your phone away so you could walk without having to worry about tripping over the curve. Thankfully, it was a short trek home and soon enough, you were walking up your street, the familiar face of your house already in view. Thinking of what might be waiting at home.
Was making you worried, left you entirely lost, felt exciting. Left you entirely lost.
Yeah, we'll go for that. I'm gonna let you take the lead for the options this episode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you learned, the more questions you had. They were all buzzing around in your head, too many to try to pick out and make sense of. Lost in your thoughts, you almost didn't see who was walking further up the street. Cove. Even from the back, the bright-eyed sea green color of his hair was unmistakable. You quickened your pace to catch up to him, the scuff of your shoes loud against the pavement. You heard it instantly, not missing a beat as he turned towards you and slowed his steps in sync.
Hey,
Hey Sheena.
Hi there. Here we are, at my house.
At that, Ko gave you a weary smile. Here we go. It sounded almost like a question, wondering why the two of you had been summoned here. Any idea on what Liz wants us for? You shook your head. The situation was out of character for your sister. Anything could happen. Well, I guess we could go in and find out. Taking his cue, you grabbed your keys and opened up the front door. Ko trailed behind you as you entered. You walked through the open door, peered about, and not sure what you were looking for. From the entryway, you could see Liz pacing across the living room, her smiling gaze intent on her phone. You had just caught her just as she had completed a turn. Behind you, the door clicked shut. The second she heard it, her head darted up to your direction, her features lighting up at the sight of you and Cove. Ah, you arrived. And together too. That's perfect, just perfect. She flashed you a radiant smile. You could almost see her limbs vibrating as if she was positioned to pounce. Cove raised an eyebrow at your sister's bizarre behavior.
What's going on? This better be important. You're in a good mood today. So what is it? Where is it? What were you gonna show us? He quietly waited to see what she would reveal. So what is it? Where is it? What were you gonna show us?
Okay, alright. We'll pick that one. Liz laughed at your rapid-fire questioning. Calm down, you'll see. Liz's eyes narrowed with a mischievous glint and she let out a little cackle. So lately, I've been hard at work on a little plan of mine, and you two get at the honor of seeing it all come together. Here it is. Surprise! She lifted her hand in air to present the very comfortable but completely mundane living room. In the resulting sound, you and Cove glanced around again and then made eye contact with each other. His face mirrored your bafflement. Then suddenly another voice rang out in the room.
Surprise!
Cove flinched at the shout, his shoulders shooting up to his ears. Laughter came from your sister as well as from the other side of the room. Your head whipped around just in time to see a familiar figure with freckled face and a purple cap springing up from behind the back of the couch. Cove's mouth fell open, recognition immediately coming to him. Shiloh?
Hi, Cove. Hi, Sheena.
Shiloh greeted the two of you so casually, like he'd been gone for 10 days rather than 10 years.
Shiloh! You were too stunned to speak. What in the world were you doing here? You started laughing. But I thought you weren't the Shiloh we knew. You're actually here. Too stunned to speak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I would have picked, but I thought you weren't the Shiloh we knew, because I'm like...
Me, I wouldn't even know how to speak because I don't speak that much, I guess.
I guess that's the character. You urged yourself to say something, to say hello at least, but your jaw flapped up and down wordlessly. With a wry grin on her face, Liz snickered and clapped her hands together, as pleased as a child after a fruitful night of trick-or-treating. You and Cole's reactions were adequate offerings in her buckle full of treats. As amazed as you were still wondering one thing.
Hey, didn't you know who we were when summer started? What happened between then and now?
Charles' gaze self-consciously dropped to the side. He took the brim of his hat down, bracing himself to answer, but Liz waved a hand at him as if it's to say no. Hey, don't worry about it. I'll explain. When we got home that day, I changed my mind about letting it go. Why did I have to? Social media exists, right? So I thought, why not try finding him and sending him a quick little reminder message? Luckily, there were so many 17-year-old Shiloh Fields in the world. It wasn't that hard to do. Hearing Liz speak seemed to encourage Shiloh, who pulled himself together to face both you and your sister with a careful smile.
Sorry.
I'm really sorry about what happened. When you talked to me that first time, I was in the middle of a tour for a school field trip. I couldn't get separated from the group and didn't expect anyone to want to be talking to me. I was so worried about getting back to everyone else, I didn't think too hard on what you were saying. But when Lizzie's message showed up, everything suddenly hit me. Lizzie, Sheena, Cove, you were the kids of Sunset Bird back when I was a little kid. There's no way you could forget that. Not for real. I do know all of you, and I'm so happy I get to see you again. I have Liz to thank for that. My mom was already planning to take a short trip near her this summer.
Well,
if my mom could bring me along, Lizzie offered to pick me up and bring me the rest of the way here just so I could visit the neighborhood again.
And that's why I decided to make it a big reveal instead of outright telling you to. I got back contact with Shiloh. Once again, she lifted a hand in the air, properly presenting the long-lost childhood friend you all shared. So, ta-da!
It was impressive how it all came together. Alright, still pretty stupid of you not to realize sooner. You were glad you were able to see each other again. You were amused at their stunt. You were unsure what to feel about it. Alright, still pretty stupid if you didn't realize sooner.
Yep, yeah, same. At that, Shiloh tipped his face down, one hand scratching the back of his neck while Lizzie frowned at you.
Sorry, I felt pretty dumb myself.
Sheena's just being a jerk, don't mind her. Go blinked slowly, still was a little dazed by everything that was going on.
uh-huh.
Okay, I'm gonna get some water. Don't disappear or anything. He padded off to the kitchen, no need
What
for a
happened?
chaperone. He knew where the cups were. What?
Oh no, just you got cut off. And
Oh, me?
oh, the connection is unstable for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow, you really surprised him, Lizzie. And Sheena too. Did you see her face when I appeared?
Yes, I did. Lizzie patted the cushion in front of the couch. Make yourself comfortable. You don't have to keep hunkering down behind there anymore. With a laugh, Charlotte crossed around the backside and took the seat. But maybe it was awkward being the only one sitting because he kept idly twiddling his fingers. You could hear him humming to himself, a nonsense tune with no real melody, something to keep his voice busy. Being here again could be more nerve-wracking for him than he let on. Cole's soft voice announced in return. He paused to drag the back of his hand across his mouth, wiping away what droplets of water lingering there. Hi, Shiloh. Welcome back. At Cope's confused greeting, Shiloh laughed cheerily.
Thanks.
I think it's amazing you're all still here in the same neighborhood. It's just like how it was way back then.
With a go and that implied differently, Liz nodded in your general direction. There have been some changes since then. You narrowed your eyes at Liz. There was no way you could miss the teasing look she was fixing on you and Cove with. Child's eyes shifted across the group, still mying politely, but there was still a slight tilt to his eyebrows. He didn't know what to make of what she was saying, that is, until Cove cleared his throat and spoke. Sheena and I are dating. It was fascinating how red he got as he said it, but his voice was steadily confident. By now, most people knew you were going out. Child's eyes went wide as saucers, mouth opened into a tiny O shape.
Congratulations! That's amazing!
Should I even say that? Really? Congratulations! That's amazing, but...
That's cute.
The two of you seem to like each other even when we were kids. It's really sweet that you're together. You silently blushed. Cove's got himself a keeper. Yeah, it was pretty inevitable we'd end up together. I wouldn't want to be with anyone else. You just smile at Cove. Silently blush.
And blush. You ducked your head, feeling your cheeks getting warm. Your face probably matched Cove's now. Cove chuckled, gesturing between the two of you as if to say, look how embarrassing this is. The feeling was mutual. Charlotte sighed happily at the moment as Cove raised his eyebrows and gave the room a considering glance. Hey, this is where we first met. We met the first time, remember? Right after I moved in, me and Sheena were brought down right here to have a play date with you.
Yeah.
Shiloh laughed, his eyes downcast as he filled with the corner of his collared shirt.
We almost didn't meet in the living room because you wanted to jump out the window to get away from me.
Cove cringed at the memory of his younger self being pushed back to the forefront of his mind. His mouth going tight, he already looked away from Shiloh. You have a good memory.
Oh?
Oh, I don't think so. Seeing this place again just brings lots of things back.
He clapped his hand together, an idea suddenly coming to him.
But hey, now that our group is together, would you want to go out and visit some of the old places? I've been hiding in the living room since I got here.
Lindsay wasn't afraid to laugh at herself, bringing a hand to her chest to silently take the blame for that. I'd love to. Yeah. One of the missing beat, the others turned to you for your answer.
Definitely. Where to first? Why not? You certainly nodded. Blah, blah, blah. You certainly nodded your assent. You certainly nodded your assent. You shrugged in reply. You looked hesitant. Where to first?
Where to first?
That's fine.
I'm sure we'll figure it out along the way. And with that, the four of you headed out into the neighborhood as one. Even with how short the time you spent indoors was, the sun was momentarily blinding you once you left the house. Squinting knew you brought your hand up to shield your eyes. The pleasant summer day had yet to go away. Only a few wispy clouds drifted along the sky. As you strolled down the way, Liz took the lead, followed by you and Cove walking side by side. Charlie fairly took a walking in the middle of the road, his arms idly swinging back and forth at his sides as he turned his head in every which way to take as much as he could. It was very much a trip down memory lane for him. He wondered how much the neighborhood had changed in his eyes. Not a word passed between the group about where you were heading first, but soon enough you found yourself walking the usual path to the shopping street. Before you reach it, the sounds of it did a collective sandals tracking sand, the shrill calls of seagulls, overlapping conversations of beachgoers, and random strands of music from various stalls.
Wow!
The all gas had come from Shiloh. His eyes were all lit up.
Were there always so many different stores in one place?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Wow, I can see why so many people come here. Hey, do they still have those nice little ice cream stands? Of course they do. Yay, we should get some. It'll be my treat.
Thanks, Shiloh. Ice cream sounds perfect on such a hot day.
How about you, Cove?
You could see that, unlike Liz, Cove was struggling with the decision, brow wrinkled in the thought. Finally, a hesitant smile appeared on his face, and he settled on keeping to the spirit of the special occasion. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Awesome. And Sheena? I like it. Thanks. I don't want any. I'd rather pay for myself. I'll buy one for me and one for you, Shiloh. I don't want to buy one, but I'll pay for yours, Shiloh. I'll say, I will buy one for me and one for you, Shiloh.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh!
Well, right. What?
Shiloh's voice rose on an octave, so taken off guard that you would offer such a thing.
You never let me do anything for you when we were kids. Now that we're here to visit, you've got to let me treat you for a change. Aw, that's really sweet.
Red-faced Shiloh gave a helpless chuckle.
Alright, I'd like it a lot if you paid for me.
You were pleased to hear that. Shiloh was still his overly generous self, but not everything was the same. If it hadn't been that time from when you were kids, the two of you might have gone back and forth on this forever. Lily not so subtly slided up to you, her shoulder bumping against yours with a smirk. What a goody two-shoes. You rolled your eyes at the childless insult, but you knew she didn't mean it. She was happy to see you getting along with Shiloh. Before you continued to walk as the ice cream plans were further discussed.
Are you getting a popsicle, Lizzie?
Yes. Hearing that, Shiloh smiled shyly.
I thought you might still like that. I'm gonna get an ice cream cone.
Shiloh began to turn towards Cove. Before he could ask, Cove offered up his choice. I'll get an ice cream sandwich.
I'm gonna get... Now that's just like a new randomizer?
You want to randomize it? Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 popsicle.
Okay.
Following in my footsteps. That's touching. You slowly shook your head at her like you might at a petulant child. You were allowed to get whatever treat you wanted. There was an ice cream stall further up the street, across from a souvenir shop displaying postcards of the seaside and saltwater taffy in its windows. The stall itself was already hard to miss with its pastel pinks and blues, and its eye-catching poster boards listing every individual flavor. It was impossible to ignore once the catchy little jingle playing from its speakers was added. Sheldon greeted the owner and began picking out the treats that everyone had chosen. He paid for others, stepping aside to let you buy his as he handed the rest of their respective owners. You picked out your choice too and added that to your purchase. Sinking your teeth into the popsicle, you relished with the sweet chill it left in your mouth. This was right, this was perfect treat for a summer day. Around you, everyone was eating at their own pace. Liz held out her popsicle away from herself, carefully not to let it drip onto her dress. She was going about eating it as delicately as she could while Charlotte dug into his. He counted only for 2 or 3 bites before Cove had devoured his sandwich. Charlotte laughed, also noticing the way Cove inhaled his food.
It's already finished?
Cove shrugged in a little reply. His attention was more focused on crumbling up the sandwich wrapper in his hand.
So, what have you been doing around here since I've been gone?
Well, I told you about me attending college away from here, so I don't really live here anymore. But to be more specific on my life, I'm pursuing a degree in architecture. Charlotte perked up at that, his mouth failing open in awe.
Amazing!
Thanks.
Actually, I was thinking about it, and the first time I really decided I liked buildings, and building them was when you and I would make sandcastles out on the beach.
Aww.
Aw, Lizzie.
At such a sincere admission from your sister, all Shiloh could do was blush and lower his head, too flattered to know what else to say. Liz laughed, just as flustered though she had been in the one to say it. The atmosphere was awkward, but not unpleasant. Charlotte shyly glanced over at you and Cove.
Then what about you two? What have you been up to?
Oh.
Me and Shiloh just graduated high school, I mean. I've got a part-time job. I volunteer at this organization to clean up stuff, things like that.
You nodded along with Cove. You idly explained how you're doing normal things. That's a secret. You explained how you had a lot of plans. I'm mainly taking it easy right now. Your idly explained how you're doing normal things? Wait, no. Or just mainly taking it easy right now?
Yeah, sure. Because it's summer, so I think that's what we said in the thing.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. It's been a while.
It's summer
since
after all. I want to make the most of it while I can.
Cove nodded along with you. It was a sentiment he shared. Shiloh just seemed happy to hear it.
Great!
Being around him again was a little like picking up an old forgotten habit. Clunky at first, but as the four of you talked, it started to come up more and more naturally. And when one of you ran out of things to say, suddenly someone else remembered something new. Oh right, do you remember those old old not actually grandparents that used to live in our neighborhood?
Yeah, they were so mean.
Well, they're not here anymore.
Oh no. They're not spending summers here anymore. They're still alive.
He's like, oh no, did they die or something? The little looks like, oh no. Okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
Look at Liz smiling, like scaring Shiloh like that. It's like, yeah. It helped Shiloh that was just as eager to hear that what had gone on in his absence as people as the word to tell him. Soon everyone threw out what trash they had in nearby garbage. Ken and Jigu made their way down to the beach, going down the shore, and it really led to a certain spot. It didn't take very long for Shiloh to recognize what was in the distance. His voice trailed off in the middle of the sentence, his footsteps flattering at first. Then all at once he broke away from the group and dashed right into the old cart, giggling as he ran. Great.
What? Jiggling.
I said jiggling instead of giggling. And I'm like, wait.
That's actually a pretty funny image.
Oh my gosh.
No, everything's so small.
His laughter appeared as he came to a stop by the swings and grabbed a hold of one of his support poles. He walked in a circle around it, marveling at how easily his hand wrapped around it entirely. Embodied of Shiloh's enthusiasm, Liz plopped herself down on one of the swing sets, only to an instant show an expression of regret. There was no way she was comfortable in the tiny seat so low to the ground, not with how she had to scrunch up her legs to fit there. Shiloh crept up behind her. He took a hold of the chains of her swing, one in each hand.
Seriously?
What are you doing? And with a grin, Shiloh started to walk back. Liz shifted her in her seat to look at him. You cannot be trying to push me. These are made for kids. It's never going to work. The child just hummed and kept pulling her back. Resigning herself to her fate, Liz tucked her legs as much as possible as Shiloh moved his hand to her back. With a running start, he got to her forward and as far as he could go before jumping out of the way. Liz had her eyes squeezed shut, a screech escaping her as the swing started falling backwards, and when it swung back around, there was Shiloh again to push her. She couldn't kick the ground like when you were kids. Her legs were too long for that now, but Shiloh was pushing enough to keep the momentum going. The air was filled with their wild laughter and the almost rhythmic jangle of the swing chains. Gove sat against the bars on the jungle gym, wearing a bent smile as he watched them. He was fiddling with something, turning it over and over in his hands. When you craned your neck to get a better view, he was oblongly lifted it for you to see. It was a piece of a shell, one side rough and molted gray, the other side completely smooth, revealing a faint blue sheen when it was caught in the light. I saw it on the beach. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good one.
No, I mean Shiloh. He seems more confident than I remember.
I think so too. And you found it amazing to be playing with Shiloh at the park again. You thought it was crazy how much time had gone by. Why don't you push me on the swings like that? Like that? What? You left the conversation there. Why don't you push me on the swings like that?
Yeah. Gove raised an eyebrow at you, as if the idea had just occurred to him. I didn't know you want me to. Well, he had you there. Soon your sister began to speak out. Alright, I'm ready to get off. How do you stop this?
Don't worry.
That laugh is so... Shiloh braced himself. One foot fluttered forward as the swing started coming back down. Then in one quick motion, he reached up and caught up the chains again. The impact had his feet skittling back in the sand, but he kept his stance and steady. If Liv was surprised at suddenly being brought to a halt, she didn't show it, only tilting her head up to smile at him. Charlotte had yet to catch his breath, though returned the smile just as brightly. He let go of the chains, walking around the swing set and briefly rubbing his hands together before offering one to Liz, which she graciously accepted. needing the help to get out of the tiny seat. Then the two of them made their way back over to you and Cove. Liz was looking more rough than usual, and her sun hat was off kilter, having held dear on for life for the entire ride. She took a moment to straighten her outfit back into place. That looked fun.
It was.
Even though you were just pushing me on the swings?
Yep, that was the fun part.
Huh.
Huh. Hey, Shell, you got an idea of what our lives have been like since you've been and gone? I've been wondering what happened to you after you moved away. Shell's eyes went wide, as if it was a surprising to hear. You don't recall him talking about himself when you were all telling stories, but maybe he hadn't been able to find it in the right timing. He brought his hand to his chin, tapping it thoughtfully as he looked up and to the side.
Well, what happened was my mom decided to move back to the south, closer to where I was born. We stayed there for a few years until she got another job offer in California again, thanks to a connection she had here. It was a really good job at a private boarding school, so she decided to take it.
Private boarding school, huh?
I
Sorry.
don't even know. I'm kidding. I didn't go far in that game.
What a wide grin. He said the next part.
And as a bonus, her kid, me, gets to attend the school and live in the dorms for free. I've been there since my second year of middle school.
Oh, dang.
Pretty soon, I'm going to be starting my last year of high school.
Liz leaned towards him with an attentive smile on her face. Have you been doing well there? Getting good grades? Got any friends? A list of questions. Charlotte held his hands in front of himself as if they were physically things he could stave off.
Yeah.
Yeah, to everything. It can be a little hard sometimes because of how people are in that school, but I'm happy.
How people are? Cove couldn't guess what that meant, but Liz folded her arms, scowling. Don't tell me there's people like that Nate guy hurrying around. Hey, I like Nate, okay, Liz? Calm down.
Whatever, he was a jerk so far.
Hey, I like Nate. He's misunderstood, but that's saying that to all
But,
the
you know, that's
characters
a
in it.
terrible impression.
But now I get it. It's like I've been through that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
It's fine. I'm not one to defend anyone if they give a bad impression. Well, actually, never mind. I do
all of
that,
them
but
had been
anyways,
given a bad impression on me. But Nate, it was understandable.
I guess so.
But yeah.
And once you get to know him, but so
Yeah.
far I just can't stand it with the main character girl. I can't.
No, it's totally understandable. I would change her personality if I could.
Yeah.
You know? Like her personality is not bad, but like, come on.
It's just hard to handle, It's like,
yeah.
can't go further in this
Yeah.
game. No, thank you.
Yeah. If people are confused, we're talking about the other game GB Patch made called XOX Droplets, which ironically Shiloh is also from, so
Yeah.
that's why we're talking about it. Shiloh rubbed at his cheek, laughing nervously. He glanced from the bars of the jungle gym up to the laces of his shoes to the tree swing in the distance, unsure where to rest his gaze.
Not exactly. Nate doesn't mean to be mean. He just kind of is.
He just kind of is.
He's the school's #1 performer for athletics and academics. He always takes on so much responsibility that the only possible way he can finish at all is if absolutely nothing goes wrong. But that's impossible, so he's always stressed and ready to snap. He can't handle it when someone seems to be causing a problem. That's why during the field trip he was upset when I went off on my own like that. Still, he's really smart and reliable and sensitive, and he cares a lot. Most of the time he doesn't even realize his way of dealing with stuff upsets other people.
Cope had a patient smile on his face, listening earnestly as Shiloh rattled off his list of Nate's good traits. See, Nate has good traits. I told you. It's like, okay, whatever. Your own interests, I guess.
Yeah? And also, I'm
Yeah.
kind of wondering what it would be like if Cove like interacted
Me-
with those people more,
Oh,
aside
that'd
from
be
Shiloh
fun.
and what's
GB
his name?
Patch, here's a sister game idea. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
make
Cool,
Cove interact with everybody.
You know him pretty well. Are you actually friends?
Well, not exactly. Me and Nate are in the same after-school group. About once a month, me, 6 other students, and a supervisor get together to talk. We did all of last year, and I think next year we're gonna be in the same group again. I hope so. Nice. That's weird. Why would you want to be in a group with him? I'm glad Nate's not so bad after all. You didn't comment on it. Nice.
Nice. I would
That's
be like, I'm glad Nate's that's me. Though.
I don't even know him, so obviously I wouldn't even say anything.
Shiloh liked this after school group of his, and you were glad to hear that he had a space for himself in his school. Personally, I'd still appreciate having a word with Nate about his communication skills.
Yeah.
Her tone of voice was low and pointed. You would be worried for Nate, if not for that playful smile that accompanied with her words. Shiloh let out a little laugh at that.
I do have Nate's number, but he wouldn't pick up. The people in my group only answer when they feel like hearing from me, so usually I have to wait for them to call. Either that or they'd never even consider answering my calls or calling me or talking to me at all unless the supervisor forces them to.
It was such a bleak description of his dynamic with his group, but that didn't it seemed to realize it until he glanced up and saw the concerned looks on everyone's face. His smile fell and he hastened to add one more thing.
Well, except for one who will always answer for sure.
Oh?
Uh-oh.
She immediately perked up.
Really?
So who's that friend of yours? He hesitated to answer, something Cove picked up on. Not exactly.
Yeah, I'd like to be friends though.
Alright. Let's cross our arms together once more, grin faced as she was like the commander of a ship about to lead her little crew into battle. You should call them, right now.
What?
If you want to be friends with them, I can help. If you're going to be in the same group again, then you should at least try to get along.
No, I shouldn't.
Oh, wait. Okay. He quickly grew flustered, his tongue stumbling over his sentences.
I don't want to be a bother.
I mean,
Liz, what are we gonna do? Watch him while he talks to someone on the phone? No, Cove, Shiloh. Last, a syllable of Shiloh's name trailing off into nothing. It soon became clear Liz had not fully thought out the plan yet, but she wouldn't be Liz if she had just stopped there. Shiloh could put them on a video call and we could all talk together, of course.
Oh,
She clapped her hands together, a wide smile on her face that didn't leave room for dissenting options.
All right.
It was a good idea. It's a good idea. It'll work. Liz, that doesn't sound like a good idea. That's awkward.
terrible idea.
Yeah, right. Liz, come on.
She has very bad ideas. But she's such a
Liz.
good person, though.
Liz, I love you as a sister, but like, come on now.
Yeah, I know,
What?
seriously. Terrible idea.
I don't know if I could handle a sister like Liz in my life. Like, no, why are you putting up bad
Honestly, if
ideas?
she was my sister, I would adapt. Because I'm like that.
But then I would adapt too, but I'd be like, the sister would be like, come on, can we like not do this? Like you're always doing the weirdest things.
Yeah, I know. I guess we'll try to talk her out of it, but in the end, we have to deal with it, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's Liz for you.
Yeah.
It's
Terrible
a
idea, but fine.
idea. Whatever,
Shiloh,
Liz.
you don't have to listen to her. Oh, alright.
Liz sent you a roll of her eyes, as if you were the one with the ridiculous idea.
What?
Liz,
Come on!
Liz, stop! Liz, you're the one with the most ridiculous idea. Come on, child. We'll just talk to them. Say that we're your friends from out of town. The worst that could happen is nothing changes. But once they have more chances to talk to you, I know they'll be convinced to be better friends. It's gonna turn out okay. Shiloh stalled the answer, but his hands was already hovering over one of his pockets of his pants.
Alright, we can talk. God, no, Shiloh!
Shiloh, no, don't encourage this behavior. I know she's just in college, but like, still, it still doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, I know,
Yes. Liz clenched a hand into a fist, cheering as Shiloh officially reached into the pocket and pulled out his phone. You noticed it was the same type of model as yours, but his had a red case around it. The screen lit up as Shiloh requested a phone video call with someone with some number on his contacts. None of them had a list. Just had names. You must remember what the numbers belong to what person.
I know, right?
Inch closer to the three of you so everyone could hear. Via, you wondered how this looked from the outside. 4 teenagers on the verge of adulthood, hanging out in this old school playground, all huddled up around a single phone. Strange, suspicious.
Yeah,
Oh
very
my God.
suspicious.
The ringing of the phone broke out of your musings. You kept your eyes on it, your heart beating at the end of each dialed tone, thinking, could this be it? Only have to another startup. It had been ringing for a while. When you think of what Cove said about all of you watching a Shiloh talking about, maybe that wouldn't happen. Shiloh sensed the awkwardness in the air, smiling, trying to dispel it.
This is normal, don't worry.
Just as he said it, the call ended, not even going to voicemail. Shiloh clicked to redial.
He never answers on the first call. He always does on the second. That's how he is, at least with most people. There are exceptions.
You, Liz, and Kobe furtively shared ambiguous looks, none of you wanting to accidentally discourage Shiloh. Then you focus on the phone again as it started to ring once more. The jingling suddenly cut off in the middle, followed by a faint sound with a white noise. With a big smile and flushed cheeks, Shiloh brought the phone up to his face. A voice low and groggy came rasping out of his speakers. Hello? Shiloh, on the other hand, was much more chipper.
Hi.
I am visiting a town I used to live in when I was little, and I wanted to introduce my group mate to the people I knew back then. Some of them have already met Nate. Can you say hey to them too? Without the rush of introduction, Shiloh stuck the phone out towards Cove, gesturing for him to greet the person on the other end. Although Kyle hadn't been on board at the beginning, the only indication of what was now lopsided tilt of his smile. His gaze turned to the screen, opening his mouth to speak, only to stutter to a complete stop. Huh?
All Kyle could do was sputter and gape at the screen. His reaction had Shiloh's brow crinkling in worry. What? Shiloh's group mate didn't sound particularly impressed with how this conversation was going so far. Shiloh frowned, retracting his arm away from Cove. As he did so, the screen tilted towards you and you caught the glimpse of what was on the screen. Light green hair, sharp orange eyes, shadowed with bangs, and icy pale skin, all tied together to make up a scowling face of a person who clearly had no desire to be there.
You knew him.
You knew him. We knew him. A flood of memories arose, flashes of one summer years ago at the same very park. You hold on to the arrangement of fruit, Derek and Cove at your side, and that kid, mean as a tiny chihuahua, snapping at everyone who dared to come close.
Are you Jeremy? The bullcut kid! You screamed. Quick, hang up the phone! Wow, you're a lot better looking now. You stared at him. You stared at John. Quick, hang up the phone!
Hang up the phone. Quick, hang up the
Okay.
phone. Okay. His arm shifted as he moved his finger towards the end call button. Charlotte almost dropped the phone in a panic.
Wait!
Cove couldn't take his wide eyes off the phone. He spoke in a very small voice, almost a squeak. Jeremy? Yeah. Oh yeah, right. I'm voicing him too. Yeah. His reply was mildly annoyed at this point.
How did you know his name was Jeremy?
Okay, hold on. I need to make up I need to change his voice a bit because I gave him that Weasley mean kid voice.
Yeah, but now he's
How do-
not. He's
Nah, how do
still
I
a
make-
mean
how do-
kid, though.
How do I sound sleep deprived? It's like, you didn't
Man.
tell. You didn't tell him.
No, that
I don't-
still sounds like Cove. It's fine. You want me
You
to
didn't-
voice him?
No, it's okay. You didn't tell him. I don't know, like that sounds any different,
them?
but you
It
didn't
still
tell
sounds-
them. I'm trying to like
No,
sound
I
sleep
only
deprived.
called you somebody from my group at school.
Okay, I'll try it. Jeremy regarded Cove cautiously, for the first time giving the situation a little of his focus. Cove burst was sucking on a long, deep, dramatic breath.
Oh my god.
Poor Cove.
All at once, he started shouting, and not just with his voice. He waved his arms around, gesturally wildly with his hands as he repeatedly yelled, "Oh my god," with all sorts of implications. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. At this
Panicking in the
antics,
background.
Jeremy gave a short huff of a sigh through his teeth, the sound tiny over the phone speakers. What's this, Shiloh? Are you trying to make me suffer? Are you still mad about what happened at the amusement park? I was on your side, you know. Liz, who had been entirely lost this entire time, finally spoke up.
Huh?
What happened at the amusement park? But no one paid that question any mind.
I don't know what's going on. Have you met each other before?
Nope. It was immediately a reply from Jerry, but those... sorry.
What
Those
the heck?
I should just have a burp counter in the corner and just be like...
Yeah, but you just burped twice today, though.
You never know.
Who
I might
knows?
burp again next time.
Maybe you should do that in a compilation when you burp next time. Who knows?
Compilation of me burping.
Yeah,
dear.
and then the count would make sense.
Wait. The flash of recognition was there as he leaned his head forward and scrunched the both of you. His already white frown somewhat found a way to grow deeper at his realization.
Oh, it's you people. Again.
Hmm.
I love that voice line. Oh, it's you people. Again.
Grr.
The screen immediately went black, looking looking from his phone to the rest of the group.
He hung up. Jeremy doesn't just hang up on people like that. What happened?
Don't look at me. I never met that kid before. You could feel Cove staring, poking probably at the side of your head. You caught his expression wide-eyed and intense. He knew what happened. Cove knew what happened, but he wasn't giving an answer to Shiloh.
Well, I punched him. He earned it. There you go.
Oh my gosh. I don't want
I'm gonna say he punched him. I punched him. He earned it. Go.
What?
You what?
Sheena, really? You resisted the urge to grin and simply shrugged.
I've gotta call him back. You can make up. Don't do that. He got what was coming to him. I do feel bad about it. Why do you care? He didn't say anything. He got it coming to him.
Charles' gaze met yours for a split second. You couldn't quite read his expression, and he turned his attention back to redialing the number. The phone rang up for a long time, long enough that you were surprised when Jeremy actually picked up. He answered even with a longer sigh.
What?
Shallow held the phone to get close to his face, looking down at the screen with large, apologetic eyes.
Are you okay?
It'd be better if you hadn't called back.
Aw.
Nah, Jeremy. Can't we talk it over? I don't want any of us fighting.
Do
Nah.
I have to?
No.
You really don't have to, but you answered the phone anyways.
Yeah, I think so.
Shiloh held his phone towards you and Cove once more. Next to you, Cove glared defensively and silently.
You also refused to speak. Hi there. This is a bad idea. I'm glad you remember me. Sorry for hitting you. You He refused to speak.
Waiting, your jaw clenched. No one said anything for a while. Finally, Jeremy's shoulders dipped slightly. He made the most exaggerated sigh you ever heard since the previous one, at least.
Sorry.
I don't remember exactly what I did or what I said to you, but sorry. What? Jeremy sighed yet again. You were sensing a pattern. His gaze rolled over to Cove. I do know what I was like as a kid. Well, okay, but who is that apology for? It better be for me and Sheena. He spoke sternly, though there was no hiding the shakiness present. That didn't matter. Cove was coming to your defense by confronting Jeremy brought a warm smile to your face. Jeremy, on the other hand, continued to be unimpressed. The corner of his lip twitched. I didn't need to know what the teenage guy equivalent of a smooshy squeak is, but I do now. Thanks for that. A small offended noise escaped Cove. Unfortunately, it was also squeaking sounding. His face immediately burned red with embarrassment.
Hey, that's my squeak toy you're talking about. He laughed. What a perfect description. Cove is exactly that. That's it. You better not step foot in this town again. You didn't say anything. Okay, I laughed at that.
You laughed. You weren't sure if it was the way Jeremy delivered it or the timing of Cole's response, but it was too much. A belly deep laugh shook you. Steadily fixing your breathing, you realized Cole was avoiding your eye. There was a pout fixed on his face.
Sorry.
The corner of his mouth wobbled and you knew he was forcing himself not to smile. Jeremy didn't react at all. He continued watching the four people on the other end of the unwanted call, lackadaisically.
Whatever.
The apology is for whoever. Anyone who had to deal with me back then wasn't having a good time. Sheena just had the spine not to take it, and that's what's up. Whatever. I mean, Scope looked back a few processing moments before he could respond. He blinked and rubbed the back of his neck. Oh, thanks. I mean, it's no problem.
He just looked away. I've still got my eyes on you. I accept your apology. Thank you, Jeremy. This is honestly incredible. Okay then. This is honestly incredible. Excitement built up in your chest at the opportunity to speak to Jeremy again. This conversation was absolutely the last thing you had expected today. Your smile widened. Whatever. Following Cove's eye, you watched it dart from Shiloh to Jeremy, openly wondering what would happen to Jeremy over the past few years. So you're nice now, right?
Nope.
Right? Okay, nope. Okay,
No,
fine.
alright, no,
Yeah,
whatever.
just stay away from this town, okay, Jeremy? You jerk. I hate you.
I don't throw tantrums or pick fights anymore. I'm not that nice.
But I'm
I know
not
that's
nice. You know?
I know, but like I wanted to ad-lib something of like I'm not that nice.
No, you're just not nice in general.
Jeremy shook his head in disbelief. That squeak toy comment wasn't a compliment, you know. I don't have the energy to get angrily worked up like I used to as a kid. It's all pointless anyway. Now I'm just miserable. Aw, he's depressed.
Yeah,
No.
depression.
Depressed. His tone was even grumblier than usual and dragged the syllables out the last word for extra emphasis.
Oh.
An awkward laugh escaped Shallow. Then his mouth pulled into a demeanor smile.
Demure.
Demure.
Don't let what Jeremy says about himself get you too down. He's got people who care about him and make sure he's okay, like me.
Okay. Just don't listen to Shiloh.
It's nice you're looking out for someone else, Shiloh. I don't really care if Jeremy's sad or not. I'm still not over the fact that the two of you actually know each other. You didn't say anything. I'm still not over the fact that you know each other.
Yeah. Well, we know why they know each other, but in the game you don't know why, but
I don't know why they know it. No kidding, I do. It's just
yeah, we it's like, what do you mean?
I just didn't go that far in the game because someone is very unbearable to go through. The main character, I can't with her still.
I got a snort out of Jeremy. Me neither. Okay, seriously, how long am I meant to be out of the loop here? Her expression twisted into frustration as Liz rubbed her right temple. Why am I the only one who doesn't know this kid? Charlotte goes to school him, that's fine, but how'd the two of you meet him and I didn't?
He was around town one summer back like 5 years ago. You were there.
Liz crossed her arms and stared unconvinced at you. Is that all? While Liz seemed to be underwhelmed, Charlotte appeared to be utterly amazed. You had to hold back a small laugh.
Really?
You knew Jeremy as a little kid? What was he like? I've only known him for a year and a half.
Well, his voice immediately hushed into nothing. You could see Cove once just thinking about those past encounters.
You're reflecting on that. Well, actually, Cove does a good Jeremy impression. Why don't you do that instead?
Oh my
God. Cove. Do it, Cove.
Oh, do it. Oh, you got an impression of me, huh? Sorry. So...
This is so funny. Oh, it's so cute. This is the cutest encounter ever with Cove.
Cove's body stiffened in fear. Jeremy leaned forward just a bit. Sure, go ahead, do it. Jeremy spoke dispassionately, but it felt somehow still felt like a dare.
Yeah.
There you go. Hello? Hello?
Oh
yeah.
I can still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's just the connection died again.
Okay.
Did you go past?
No, it's your turn.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be great.
Cove shifted nervously on his feet. I took a deep breath and in and out to calm himself. Okay, I can.
He's actually gonna do it. Oh my god, Cove, you're so good. I love you.
I'm scared. But I love you, Cove. I mean, as you watch Cove cold decides to recall the memory, his brows furrowed and his mouth pulled into a harsh frown. No. I haven't even read it, but I hate it.
But it's so funny. Oh my god, I could.
Okay.
So hard. Dude, read it. It's too crazy. And that's right in front of Jeremy too.
I need to cover Jeremy's face while I read this because it's so. I'm literally putting my hand over the screen just to not look at his face while looking at me.
He can't react. Can he?
No, it's just like I feel like it's so uncomfortable for me looking at Jeremy while I'm doing a Jeremy impression. Like waiting for me to do it, and I'm like,
yeah, he does look like he's waiting for it.
I'm gonna cover his face on the screen. You can't see me, but
even I could do it.
It's like I'm covering his face.
You're so dumb.
I'm gonna send you a picture of what I'm doing right now. It's funny. Here, I'll send you a picture of what I'm doing. Cause I can't do it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I see it.
I can't do it.
Go for it now.
Ugh, everyone is so dumb. There is not a single good thing in the world, and everything bad thing that happens is targeting me personally. Sounds like a Karen. I hate people and phone calls are stupid. Why does everyone have to talk to me?
Bravo! It's like I've gone back in time. Going on vacation is torture. quietly improve. Well,
Going back to fucking Discord.
Alright, let's
Yeah, we're
do that. Let's go!
Okay. You can't help but find yourself joining in the shrill of your tones and your voice broke into Cove into a fit of laughter. Jeremy's expression didn't give any single sign of what he might be thinking. He blankly stared for the duration of it all. Yeah, that sounds about right.
That would be awkward.
I could try to do an impression of what I remember you being like back then, but it doesn't seem like you've changed much. I don't want to make you cry. That'd be awkward.
Oh, yeah.
You could feel Coase bristling next to you as Jeremy spoke to a matter of factility. It was hard to tell if he meant to be rude or was just making an honest assessment of Cove. Either way, you can tell that your neighbor was taken aback by how Jeremy quickly turned the tables on him. At that confirmation, Charlotte burst into uncontrollable laughter. Even when he calmed moments later, gasping for breath, but there was still a wide grin plastered on his face.
I can't even imagine Jeremy being like that.
I can't imagine not being like that. They both chuckled again. Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile. I mean, Jeremy hasn't made fun of my eyebrows once this entire conversation. Unbelievable.
Huh.
Jeremy blinked and focused all his attention onto Cove. His eyes unmistakably narrowed onto his eyebrows. He didn't say anything at first, and then his words came out in a mumble. That makes sense. I'm guessing. I guess insulting eyebrows was just what I did as a kid. What does that mean? What does that mean? What do you think it means? You weren't the only kid in the world with bad eyebrows, and you're not the only one I picked on for it.
Seriously?
I wasn't? You couldn't help yourself, could you? Nope. Wow. Wow, so you made their eyebrows bad? Are you curious if yours are better by terrible eyebrow standards at least? No.
Sigh.
Encouraged
No.
dubiously, Bob looked from Jeremy to you and then back at him
God
again.
damn it.
You had to question if you heard that right. He spoke the word sigh instead of actually sighing. Noticing the reaction, Jeremy sighed for real, but he continued to answer Cove's question. The guy particularly has an odd hair coloring. White hair, but only on the top of his head. Every other strand on his body is dark brown, including his immensely bushy eyebrows. He was born that way, and it's not dyed. So you were scarred with dumb wavy eyebrows, and he was the white-haired boy with super caterpillar eyebrows. Ouch. Unexpectedly, a loud gasp came from Shiloh at that description.
Yeah. No! You picked on Pran for his eyebrows?
I did, and I'm sure you find that hilarious.
No, that's not very funny.
So you said, but Shadow was smothering laughter. The unconvinced note in Jeremy's voice didn't surprise you. Wait, give me a second. Let me just. Jeremy rolled his eyes in the slowest, most exaggerated way possible. When he made a complete circle, he finally spoke quietly while Shadow broke into a fit of giggles.
Hello?
No, I can still hear you.
Oh, okay. No, it just you cut off.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
Yeah, it was being weird.
There. Who's Pran? Shiloh knows him too?
Well,
Jeremy and Pran have known each other for a long time. They managed to go to the same boarding school later on. I met them both there in the spring of last year. We're all group mates.
Jeremy's gaze slid away from Shiloh. He looked somewhere in between you and Cove. Pran and I met about
You
four
hear
and a
that?
half years ago, back when I was still an intolerable brat, and Pran was a meek. I hear what?
Oh no, I just heard sirens in the background.
Oh. I only hear fans on my end. You can only imagine how amazing that culmination was. Yeah. It must make those groups meetings awkward. Nope. Somehow, someway, for some reason, Fred chose to be stubbornly stick with me for as long as we've known each other. He's my best friend.
Aw.
What? It's surprising, I know. I have a best friend, and it's the caterpillar brow guy of all people. But I guess things balanced out in the end. Pran's timid nature is good and dead. He grew up to be colder than even me. I'm Milby and he's Brody. A perfect match.
Two peas in a ruining everyone's life pod.
Gross.
Don't ever quote Everett.
I don't know who that is.
I think he's one of the love interests because I don't remember either that or that's the name of the MC's name or something.
Wait, what? That's the MC's name?
I don't know. Everett's the other love interest. He's the guy with the mohawk.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try to maybe
Play
someday
it
I'll
with-
well
You should stream it.
yeah, just play it with me or just or unless I rage quit, who knows.
You should just stream it and just feel like have a blast. I'm pretty sure Len and the others would love that.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
struggling to like this character.
I was like, I don't like this character. It's so hard.
That's the point of the game. They're all shitty characters.
Yeah, I know. I said I can't stand it. It's hard to go through it. It's too hard.
We can do it together. Don't worry. We will suffer with you. Okay. Anyways, Cope whined after Jeremy snapped as his last remark. Now, who's Everett? You don't want to know.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, you don't want to know. Yeah.
Shell hummed, and he watched his 3 old friends with an amused smile. He was having fun, but before he could say anything, Jeremy continued. Everett is also a part of the group, unfortunately. But he chose not to elaborate further than that. This time. You feel her frustration. You couldn't blame her for that. She hadn't been able to participate much at all. She didn't know Jeremy then, and there was no basis for her reminiscing now. There was a 10-year-old gap in her history with Charlotte. Those situations struck an accord with you. The two boys that knew separately came to know each other, and now they know each other much better than they know any of you. Charlotte was almost a stranger.
Okay, let's see. You shrugged the feeling off. You didn't know how to feel. You were on the same page as Liz. You felt down. You were glad things seemed to be going all right. Felt annoyed by how things unfolded. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this situation.
Do you want to randomize it?
No, I said I didn't know how to feel.
Oh,
That's my choice.
I was like, wait. Okay. Alright, you don't know how to feel. You're happy to know that Child was busy living his life and filling it with new friends, but it was hard not to feel sort of left behind. And then it was utterly bizarre that he had apparently been bonding with Jeremy.
Yeah?
Turning to the three of you, Child smiled unapologetically. He wondered if he was picking up on how in the dark you, Liz, and Cole were feeling. He was perceptive of when he wanted to be. At least that's what you remembered of Shiloh. Who knew what he was like now?
Hey, is there anything you want to hear about Jeremy? I can tell you all about him. We should get to know each other better. What does Jeremy look like in that game?
I think he looks different in the game. I don't remember.
I gotta go check it out. Actually, I want to see. I know it's drawn. It's drawn by a different person. So yeah.
Yeah. We're just like taking breaks to check.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't look very interesting.
Yeah. I actually prefer his R Life avatar for some reason.
Yeah, it looks better. That's all I have to say. That hair actually looks good on him.
Jeremy whined, but Shiloh brushed his complaint off. He remained happily focused on the rest of you. Lily seemed to perk up at the conversation shift.
Interesting.
That sounds great. We should get to know Jeremy. So, who wants to go first? Despite being eager, it was obvious that Liz didn't have any ideas herself. Jeremy let out a very long sigh.
When's his birthday? What's his full name? Can I get his number? What are his parents like? Does he have siblings? Does he have any hobbies? Is he doing well in school? How tall is he? What happened to his bowl cut hair and glasses? What did happen at the amusement park? Is he single? I don't have any questions.
Do you want to go through all of them?
Yeah, let's go all of them.
Alright, when's his birthday?
May 4th. He's a Taurus. I see. He has
Jeremy
the same
refused to-
birthday as Tifa.
Oh, cool. Jeremy refused to comment on that. Instead, he rolled his eyes. What's his full name?
Jeremy Marion King. Isn't that neat?
Why do you even want to know that? Are you planning to steal my identity?
Maybe.
His hearts crossed inside.
Someday.
A quick grin
Who knows?
appeared on your face. You can have it.
I'll keep that in mind. Can I get his number? No, I don't want his number. What?
What? Why?
All
I
right.
don't know. I'm just joking. Sure. No, I don't want it.
Ignoring Jeremy again, Shiloh immediately started listing off the number for you. Jeremy
my God.
grimaced and while you contentedly save it to in your contact list.
What are his parents like? They're nice and optimistic. They work really hard, but they can be smothering, sort of, and usually embarrass Jeremy. Yeah.
Jeremy seems unenthused by Shiloh's answer.
Does he have any siblings?
Nope.
No, Jeremy is an only child. He doesn't have pets either. Although, Fran spends almost no time with his own family and a lot with Jeremy's. It's kind of like a sibling relationship right there.
Don't bring Pran into this awful thing.
Okay. Reading and crafty handiwork type of stuff. Oh, and archery. Jeremy is really talented.
Seriously? That's really cool. Jeremy scoffed at this compliment. He clearly wanted to move on from the conversation.
Is he doing well in school? What? Yeah, Nate is still doing the best, but Jeremy gets respectable scores. Or, unless by doing well, you mean to ask if he's having a good time or making friends, then in that case, no, he's not.
I'm not sure how to respond to that at all. Glancing back at Jeremy, he rolled his eyes.
How tall is he? 5'5". He's kind of short. What happened to his bowl cut and glasses? He had a bowl cut?
That sent Charlotte into a fit of laughter while Jeremy shook his head disapprovingly. Through the chuckles, Charlotte continued with his best guess.
Right.
His mom and dad probably decided that back then, and now he picked, or they developed new taste over the years. As for the glasses, Jeremy wears contacts at school and when he's out and about, but he still wears glasses when he's home or working part-time at his parents' hobby shop. What did happen at the amusement park?
Oh.
Oh, huh. I don't actually know. I can only think of one time when we were both there. I'm not sure what part he's talking about. As far as I can tell, I didn't do anything to upset him, and I know he didn't do anything to me.
Sigh. That's what you're going with, Shiloh?
Jeremy, what happened? Jeremy, what happened?
I'm not gonna tell you. It's humiliating, and Shiloh knows I'm not gonna say anything. It's why he won't explain either. For several quiet moments, everyone stared at Shiloh and Jeremy in confusion. Shiloh had a similar look on his face before averting his eyes.
Sorry, I can't help you with this one, Sheena. Is he single?
That's
Why do I have to
Shiloh's
know that?
jiggling. He smiled down at the screen.
Jeremy isn't in anything official, but he does have someone he goes on dates with from time to time. I don't know who that is.
You can call that dating. I call it punishment for all my wrongdoings in this life.
Nah.
Oh my gosh. Cope scratched his face and glanced at you like he wasn't sure he heard Jeremy correctly. Charles smiled understandingly.
It's complicated. She makes him happy against his will. What? How unfortunate. Honestly,
Charlie started
I'm surprised.
Oh really?
Yes.
You're surprised?
Surprised
With
that she
Jeremy?
makes him happy.
Whoa. What a twist. What a twist.
What a twist!
Shiloh started chuckling again. Jeremy, on the other hand, let out a loud sigh, clearly done with the current topic.
That everything I can think of. Cool. Thanks for asking. Cove, do you have any question for Jeremy?
Stunned, it took Cove a moment to recover from being put on the spot. But immediately his eyes shifted from Shiloh and looked with Jeremy's as they remained like that for long enough that it was as if they could speak telepathically. Alright, yeah, I have a question, but Shiloh can't answer. Fine, ask me. Let's get this over with. What do you think of me? Even if you don't think I'm tough or something, do you still feel like I'm stupid and wrong about everything? A crack formed in Jeremy's lackluster expression. He barely opened his eyes, lifted a little more, but he spoke flatly. My opinion on stuff is basically the least important thing you could ever worry about. It's pointless. I'm still asking, so? Cove, right? That's your name? Cove nodded. There was a bit of a pink in his cheeks as he bashfully rubbed his arm.
Okay.
Okay, Cove. You seem like a guy who cares a lot about things that don't matter. It sounds pretty dumb to me. I grew that years ago. Being soft as you act, isn't that something that I would ever do, basically? But you know what the absolute dumbest thing really is? Cove shook his head. He creased his eyebrows. He leaned forward just a bit so he couldn't risk not hearing what revelation Jeremy was going to bestow upon him. Making yourself miserable if you don't have to be. Oh. If you and the rest of the people here have a way to enjoy existence, then you should go ahead and do that. Stay gentle and happy, dumb eyebrows guy.
Okay.
That's somewhat
It's actually kind of wholesome.
yeah, I'm like, that's actually some pretty
wholesome.
good advice.
Yeah. I want
like, that's
them to
really-
interact more. Meow.
That's actually that's pretty good interactions. Hold on.
That's a really cute interaction. Adorable. High five.
Sorry, I thought there was a bug in my room for a second.
No.
You have my approval, if that's what you wanted.
Yeah, my approval if that's what you wanted.
That's
I
what he
hope
said.
you all have wonderful lives and suffer as little as possible.
Wow, thank you.
Whoa.
Wow.
The words stumbled out softly. Cole was earnestly amazed by Jeremy's words.
Thank you.
And you know that's not gonna make you. And you know what's not gonna make you stay happy? What? Talking to a downer like me. So really, you should have ended this conversation like right now, and none of you should ever call me again for the rest of your lives. That sounds good. Can I hang up already?
Oh, wait, Jeremy, I can't never call you again.
Shut up, Shiloh. Unfazed, Shiloh laughed with a tilt of his head.
Building something good up until only to try up undercutting it. That's the Jeremy I know.
Sorry.
The word dipped with sarcasm and accompanied with a smirk. It was the first time you actually saw him smile this entire time.
Yeah, it is.
Cole piped up meekly, an awkward smile of his own on his face. Maybe my opinion, it's totally skewed because I'm comparing things to now to how Jeremy used to be, but I mean, you don't seem that bad.
I guess so.
What? Cole needed to look away from Jeremy's painfully sharp eyes to finish his thought.
I mean,
I'd probably be okay with talking to you again. Sigh, come on. You have to have standards.
I want to keep talking with Jeremy too. Yeah, Cove, he's pretty cute. I'd be fine with ending this call now. I don't think he's that bad. Yeah, no comment.
I literally actually have no opinion anymore since he's a changed person. I wouldn't mind talking to him again. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, this kind of Jeremy kind of reminds me of somebody that I already talked to a lot. He's like a friend of mine. He's also like that. He's so deadpan and likes to talk down about himself. Sorry,
I have friends who used to be very deadpan, but now they're better because I kept in contact with them, which is good.
Yeah,
and I kind of
I guess
and weirdly enough, I do feel towards I feel some type of way with Jeremy since I kind of understand where he's coming from.
Yeah,
I was also that very deadpan and don't care about life, and it's damn, it's kind of it's hitting me damn, it's kind of like me when I was younger. It's weird.
Of course. I'm like that when I was 14. So yes. Yeah, we could talk to Jeremy more too,
we can talk
I guess.
to him. Yeah. Jeremy groaned loudly at your acceptance of him. Your smile only widened in amusement, and Liz clapped her hands. I almost dropped something. Wonderful.
Good.
Now that we're much closer to this Jeremy kid, I think we can all get along together and be friends. Friends?
We just befriended each other.
Jeremy repeated the word back like it was a foreign phrase. He generally didn't seem to understand. That's right. If we keep working on it, I don't see why the five of us can't be friends. He stared at Liz incredulously for several moments. Her expression twisted into fresh confusion of her own. Okay, 3 things. First, I already have a whole friend that's more than enough. Second, I still don't know who you are. Did you even say your name at any point? And most importantly, third, one of the people in this friendship is Shallow Fields. He and I are gonna be friends. Oh, why not? And I'm Liz, by the way. Because he's Shiloh. Our relationship is already as good as it ever is gonna be. He mercifully leads me the most of the time, and on the weird occasion where he needs something, I just get it over with. Then he goes away again, and I have a modicum of peace. You know how it works, right? You're in it with me. We have the best arrangement possible with the way it is. Jeremy looked to Shiloh seriously to back up the validation of their relationship, but Shiloh shook his head with a laugh.
I don't try to hang around too much, but that's because you're shy. You're the only one who thinks that setup is actually a good idea. Sorry.
Jeremy turned his face to slide to another exaggerated sigh. Cove and Liz both joined on Shiloh's mirth. Jeremy got no support. Of course you'd say that. Why did I even bother? That's Shiloh's famous memory for you. Lizzie's chuckling stopped. Wait, what does that mean? Shiloh's famous memory? What? Whatever. Basically, Shiloh annoyingly remembers everything that happens for all eternity. At least until some piece of info he has isn't helpful anymore, or he's got some explaining to do. Then magically all of a sudden he doesn't remember anything about it. His really inconsistent recollection of situation is pretty much a running joke. It's Shiloh's shtick. One of them anyway. The scout dug into Liz's face as Jeremy spoke. Cove lost his smile, seeing her reaction. Shiloh remained silent with his big childlike eyes locked on your sister. Jeremy began to shrink away from the screen at changing atmosphere. He put contact with everyone. I'm guessing he didn't mention that.
No.
No, he didn't. And he said he's forgotten something to you? I do recall him saying a little thing like that. Sorry. But, well, apparently you had the pleasure of meeting Nate. You know me, and I talked a bit about Brown and Everett too. We're all an unbearable group and we're all unbearable people. What amazing coincidence, huh? What we're about is kind of hard to hide. I'm gonna go now. I don't want to be the fifth wheel of your own little group. You three people have a good day, I guess. And Shiloh, I'll see you back at school.
Bye.
Bye?
Ooh. Jeremy promptly ended the call. Just as people had begun to warm up to him, he accidentally found a way to ice the mood again. Shiloh, now averting his own gaze, put his phone away and chuckled.
So,
I knew that Jeremy didn't think highly of me, but it's even worse than I thought. That's really sad.
Shiloh? Her tone immediately brought Shiloh's focus back to her. Once she got his attention, however, Liz's voice became small. When we first met you in the city, did you know who we were? Did you pretend not to recognize us? The two old friends watched each other for another beat, but ultimately Shiloh closed his eyes and with a lopsided smile. Oh, Lizzie, you know I could never— Wait, that's you! Forgot.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, wait. Oh, Lizzie, you've got to know I could never really forget you.
Liz was speechless, but it wasn't quiet. Cuff couldn't stop himself from shouting out. Oh my god, you were lying to them?
Lying is a strong word. I was, improvising. Wow. That was cruel, Shiloh. Yep, that makes way more sense than you not figuring it out. You didn't have a reaction, really. You're crazy and a liar. You smirked and thought Shiloh was pretty bold. You didn't have any idea what to say to that. I don't know. You didn't have a reaction, really.
Yeah. I would probably be super stunned.
I'd be very stunned.
Yeah. The news wasn't a big deal to you. Go home, Shiloh, or go to my house and wait there until we can send you home.
alright.
Okay.
With his shoulders dipped and head low, Shiloh obediently left the park alone. After she disappeared up on the road, Liz sat her butt down right into the sand with no concern of how dirty her dress might get this time.
You went after Shiloh to talk to him. You crouched down with your sister. I don't know. Should we go to Shiloh?
You want to randomize it? Just to, see?
Okay, sure, let's do that.
Okay, let's see. 1 to 2. You crouch down with your sister. You can go, we're done. Go shared an unsure look with you. She wanted to be alone, but this wasn't the time for that.
No, it's obvious you will need us here with you.
Accepting that you were going to be there for this, she let out a groan. At the same time, Liz pulled the sides of her hat down, gripping it tightly in frustration. I can't believe he pretended he didn't know us. Since when was Shiloh too good to catch up with his acquaintances? It's infuriating. Am I an idiot for thinking we could talk?
You wrapped your arms around her, you leaned against her, you took her arm, you watched her cautiously. You leaned against her.
Yeah. You wheeled over even closer to your big sister so that your shoulders were touching, and you let your head rest on her. She cut her hat down.
No, you're not an idiot. He's the idiot. Shiloh lied to us. That's not your fault. No, you're smart and talented and amazing. Liz, I'm so sorry. Maybe we can still make this better. Maybe we can still make this better, yeah. Last one.
Last one? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow.
Fine.
I know, I shouldn't care. It doesn't matter if one person doesn't want to be my bestie. He's not the greatest fan on earth. I'll be fine. But I brought him here all the way from the other side of the state, and I don't even know why he did any of this. Liz finally removed her hand from the brim of her hat in order to rub the temples instead. It blows. Aw, Liz. I'm sorry.
Ah.
Ghost snorted, some nervous at her unexpected phrasing. She didn't mind it.
It's true, but you'll always have me. Say the word and I'll force the answers out of him. I bet he's just intimidated by successful women. Liz, if we ever see that guy again, I'll herd him into the ocean. We'll have to make so much fun without him. He has no idea what he'll be missing out on. I'm here for you, Liz. They're thick and thin, no matter what. I'm gonna say the word and I'll force the answers out of him. Let's go. I will interrogate him, torture him even.
Alright, cool. Please don't, you'll go to jail.
Fine.
Thank you.
Thanks, baby sister. She squeezed you tight and rocked you back and forth in a dramatic hug. You let out a cove-like squeak. I love you.
I love you too. And what is family for?
Well, I thought it was for hogging the phone while growing up, but this works. She released you with a shaky, self-impressed laugh. Oh, and thank you, Tuko, for being around. We're gonna be officially family one day, right? She shot him with a weary smile and he tensed up, face gone red. He was willing to take her teasing if it made her feel better. Don't mention it. Good. Liz rested her eyes. After those last couple of words, it eased your heart to see her feel better. Cole let out a soft sigh in relief. Hey. Cole brought his face close to yours so he could speak in a whisper.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? I know Liz was his best friend. But you knew him too. And were you there when he did his whole pretend improvisation act?
Don't worry about me. I'm okay. I'm sad. I'm furious. I don't know how I feel. You didn't say anything. Don't worry about me.
Don't worry about me?
Yeah.
Okay.
No way.
You know that's impossible.
I know. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. Gov ended his checkup by reaching over to pat you on the shoulder reassuringly. Your longtime neighborhood group sat together quietly in the sand, just enjoying the feeling of familiarity and support. You weren't entirely sure how much time passed, but you were eventually caught off guard by a soft call in the distance. In unison, the three of you turned your heads to the sound, and there was standing at the edge of the playground was Shiloh himself. He waved.
You moved in front of Lizzie protectively. You huddled closer to Liz. Nervously, you huddled closer to Cove nervously. You flipped him off. You froze in place. You watch him curiously. We watch him curiously. Last one?
Okay, alright. You wanted to know what his endgame was.
You've got a lot of nerve, Shiloh. It's a good thing your name is Fields, because I'm gonna put you in the ground. Hi. Why are you doing this? I'll punch you in the face just like I socked Jeremy, and you didn't speak a word. I will punch you in the face just like I socked Jeremy.
Oh my gosh.
I will do that.
Like Shiloh
Let's be more. Yeah, let's just be consistent and just do that.
I socked Jeremy.
Yes. But this
meant
time
every
with a
word of
different
that.
intent, though. I would be protecting my sister.
You meant every word of that threat.
What's that? I can't. I couldn't hear you from over there. But don't get up on my account. I'll come to you. You heard me. No.
You know he heard what you said. Shiloh approached with easy strides, as if he had been welcome. You were floored with how much confidence or shamelessness the boy was apparently capable of now. Lily turned her face and refused to acknowledge what was happening. She might have been trying to think of happy thoughts and wish Shiloh's presence away. Fortunately, it didn't work. When Shiloh arrived, he plopped down into the sand with the rest of you, his legs folded crisscross.
Hi.
Leave before I make you leave.
Seriously, get lost.
I will in just a minute.
What do you want now?
Well, I figured you'd want to talk to me after you'd had some space. I ought to let you do that, even if you're gonna yell at me.
They finally faced him to be free to snap at Shiloh with full force. And why in the world would you think that? Unfazed, Shiloh looked back at her softly.
You haven't changed that much, Lizzie. You're the one who found me online when I brushed you off earlier this summer. When have you ever preferred leaving something unresolved in the end? You didn't even have a chance to make me explain why I did it. I bet you're dying to do that.
Lizzie ground her teeth, quietly fuming. Shiloh had called it right, and that sucked for her. Fine, I'll buy it. Give me your excuses.
Well,
mostly it was really bad timing. I could have handled it a lot better if I had known I was going to see you that day, and if there wasn't a self-appointed hall monitor dutifully watching every move people made.
And a hi, good to see you, gotta go, was simply too much for your little heart to manage?
Of course, the goal was to keep as much distance as possible. Admitting I was the guy you knew wouldn't have been helpful.
So you can't stand us? And me trying to reconnect was a huge pain for you after all? Amazing, wonderful, thank you so much for saying so.
No, that's not it. Don't feel bad though. You're almost never wrong.
Your older sister's brows twitched as she stared at Shiloh in entire disbelief. He smiled back at her brightly.
I did it so this wouldn't happen.
What?
I dealt with that situation the way I always do, by saying stuff I didn't exactly mean because it's just easier that way. You heard Jeremy, it's what I'm known for. Sure, right now you're mad that I pretended not to remember you, but if I hadn't done that, it would have been something else later on and we'd have ended up here still. I don't know.
Lizzie's anger became more and more difficult for her to maintain. It was soon replaced with a sad confusion. Dan, don't do that. Don't be like that. Why not be someone you're actually okay with showing me? Shiloh chuckled uncomfortably and turned away for him to explain himself to his former idol.
I wouldn't have made you sad if I could have avoided it. I mean that. I thought I could at least finish this visit without issues. Jeremy wasn't someone I expected to call me out. That's pointless to him, and usually. But I'm not going to be someone whose personality revolves around making you happy. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he does that. When he was a kid, he does that. No matter how much I follow others, it wasn't for them. Every decision was mine. I couldn't be in charge, so being a sidekick to the best option was something I did for my sake. I choose to let people be the boss when it's what I need, and I choose where to stop it. And the best I can do for you now is spare you from dealing with it. I'm not as earnest as you are. I'm not as nice as you are. I was always like that, even as a kid. I get it, yeah. Back then, I wanted to fit in. Yeah, that's true, too. We witnessed that. Even if it meant excluding someone else. If they were the odd one out, that'd mean I wasn't. Yeah, I was like that, too, when I was a kid, too. And finding my place here now got harder when Cove moved in. It was a good thing for everybody that I ended up moving myself soon after that. You were speechless. That's horrible. I knew it was sure. I knew I was sure you weren't being honest back then. You felt bad for him hearing that. Huh, okay then. You didn't want to say it out loud, but you had always suspected that. I knew
I kinda
I
knew
was
it.
sure. Yeah, I know.
I was sure, yeah. I'm pretty sure we both knew.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that already. It's just that it's her decision to be calling out with that. At least I'm admitting it now.
I knew that's essentially how you were back then. You were a scared cat who wanted someone to defend you.
Jeez!
I simply imagined that in the last passage you outgrew that and you learned how to speak to others like, I don't know, like an actual grown-up human being.
Well, in my defense, I'm not an adult yet. I won't be 18 until later this year in October.
October 30th.
You remembered.
So did you, punk? Shallow chuckled self-consciously as Lilith smirked at him. There was an affable moment before she came serious again. I liked you when we were kids. I wanted to know you now. That's what upset me the most. The idea that maybe you only wanted to be rid of your old. The idea that you may. The idea that maybe you
Okay,
only
just
want to rid of your
slowly.
old. Oh my gosh! What? The idea that maybe you only wanted to rid of your old friends.
Aw.
Aw, Lizzie, you're too good to need someone like me in your life. That's the truth. I'm not worth the effort. Except for with unusual people who have odd taste.
Then she straightened up on the stand and brushed her dress back out. That's an incredibly annoying thing to say. It's insane. You only change in stupid ways and stay the same for the rest.
That's fair.
Is it? It means maybe I have unusual taste. You could stuff Shallow's entire hat into his mouth of how wide he opened it.
Really?
Well, as much as a mother hen being compelled to look out for her chick, no matter how useless they are, is unusual. I can't help it. You haven't changed that much after all either. You're still shallow. You're painfully still shallow.
You're welcome.
I brought you back here and I'm not going to abandon you. It has to be someone's job to look out for and keep an eye on you. With her sterility returning, she pulled herself off the ground and glowed herself at Shallow with arms folded. Now, I do want an apology for everything done behind our backs when you could have been opened with all of that you just said. You should give me a real chance or stay at home. This stunt was rude to me and Sheena and Cove too. As if bringing the baby chick comparison to life, Charlotte dutifully did it as he was told.
Sorry.
Sorry, Lizzie, Sheena, Cove, everyone. I didn't want to cause problems or ruin the day. And you don't have to accept just because I'm saying it. Not everybody needs to like everyone.
Alright then.
Yeah.
You were kind of mean sometimes when we were kids, but I wasn't very nice to you either.
Yeah.
All of this recent stuff isn't something to make about me, so I'm not gonna hold on to it. I mean, as long as you're not gonna keep upsetting the people from now on.
Thanks, Cove. I'll avoid doing that in the future.
He managed
I
to
didn't even
change
change
his
my voice from that. I was tired.
It's okay, it's fine. He then changed his focus to you. His expression was curious. He wanted to know where your feelings landed on him.
Were you pretending to have a good time with us today? I'll accept your apology. I'm not forgiving you. Don't even think about it. You couldn't give him a straight answer. You shouldn't forgive him. That's crazy. You give him a faint smile, feeling sort of relieved. Were you pretending to have a good time with us today?
Yep.
No, it really was great to come back to the old neighborhood and see you three. I only guessed it would end badly, so I tried not to get into the situation in the first place.
Sheena, do you want to stay for what's left of the evening? You don't have to. As you got onto your feet, you thought about it.
You did, and there was a reason for it. You didn't want to spend any more time with Shallow. What? What does...
Why would
what,
we...
I don't get it. Choose the
means you
first
don't want-
one.
Just the first one, because it means like you don't want to spend any time with Chalo anymore because of what he did.
Okay. It sounds like you want to leave in the first one too.
You did, and there was a reason for it.
Okay, fine. I still like Shiloh. If Liz is looking out for Shiloh, someone has to look out for her. I'm kind of interested to see what'll happen next. I'll stick around. I just feel sorry for you, Shiloh. I want us to stay together. Well, it's not as if I was that surprised. I wasn't that surprised. I guess you're stuck with me.
Flashing Shiloh and Liz with a sly smile, you shrugged. Shiloh jumped into speed, stringing his cap on the landing.
Lynn would be so proud. You didn't. I'll leave.
Cove rose as well, but with a groan. Another group mate?
Nope.
No, he's our group supervisor. He's also friends with my mom. And if you were still wondering, that group is for people who have difficult to deal with attitudes. Yeah. Jeremy and Nate being in it makes a lot of sense, huh?
Shiloh spoke simply and finished his thought with a breezy shrug. Lizzie sighed loudly and then smiled ruefully at him. Geez, Shiloh, you certainly made yourself of other people's problems since leaving.
Well, now you all know me better too. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep. Thanks for sharing. A small smirk appeared on her face as she watched Shiloh. You didn't fail to notice the hint of sarcasm in her voice. And thank you, Sheena. Accompanied by a warm smile, Liz's tone was sincere. I can keep hanging out with every... Oh, wait, no. Wrong voice. I can keep hanging out with everyone, too. Sheepishly, Cove wrote his arm. Liz smiled, stretched into a grin at that news.
Aw, thanks for sticking around.
Well then, and what now? Before you started, you tripped in silence until Shiloh intently made a suggestion.
Would anyone want to build a sandcastle? Yeah, let's do that.
That sounds ideal. Your older sister began to truthfully relax again. You were glad to see it. Glancing at Cove, he nodded in agreement with Liz.
It's been a while since any of us did that together, huh? Let's do it.
Then we're all agreed. Come on, gang, let's go back at the beach.
Go play.
The sun was far across the sky when the four of you trailed down from the park to the shore in a comfortable silence. It was hard not to think back of how familiar it all felt. You never thought the four of you would ever be here together again. It wasn't long before you were sitting on the wet ground, bustling, pushing as much sand as possible into a lump. You all worked together quietly, but every so often a chuckle would drift through because of the castle's lopsided development. At one point, Cove stretched his legs completely and incoming waves started to reach his toes. He initially was caught off guard and almost jumped into the castle, but immediately didn't resist the water. After that, the group worked with purpose to finish before the ocean could tear it down. Even though Liz still ended up taking time to particular about the castle's rudimental
you just
design.
So breathless. I couldn't understand you.
Shiloh, of course, backed up all her plans. Cove was dissenting voice, wanted to keep things more laid back. Things got pretty boisterous. Being there and doing this with Cove, Liz, and Shiloh, it felt weirdly different, yet weirdly the same.
So,
what happened with the amusement park? Were you pretending not to know, were you? Both of you and your sister glanced at Shiloh, silently asking the question under the weight of all the three of you taking a turn to ask about it. Shiloh finally gave in.
I might have an idea of what he meant.
So,
the thing is, there was someone we're both familiar with, and she asked Jeremy to the amusement park one time. Oh, her. He accepted, but just complained about it. So I suggested that maybe me and her should go together. Jeremy also agreed that it'd be more fun to go around the park with me. That's what he meant when he asked he was on my side. She still went with him, and now Jeremy is embarrassed to admit not that he was turned down, but that he was the preferred option then. It's hard to believe. Anyway, Jeremy could think of that I'm mad I got passed over, but it doesn't matter if she said yes or no. All that counts is if she knows I'm totally there when she needs it. And she does.
Uh-huh. Sure, Shiloh, you're so reliable.
I know, right?
Okay, thanks for telling us.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Oh, okay. yeah, I
Smiling
meant
to
say that.
yourself, you watched the three of them absorb in the moment. It was nice, and you hope everyone else was having just as much fun. It was short of incredible that you were able to have another evening like this in your life. And the feeling of the odd serendipity wasn't only with Chella. You also have gotten a little closure with the old villain of that one summer long ago.
That whole villain.
Just like old times, the four of you stayed on the beach until the night it fell and the moon was high in the sky. But then the time had come to say goodbye. Charlie needed to get back to his mom,
His
and back
mom.
to where his life truly was now. Before leaving the beach, Charlie pulled you aside and gave you his number just in case you wanted to keep in touch. Liz already had it, though. He wanted to give it to you personally. We
Aw.
weren't expecting that, but it was comforting to know that this didn't have to be a permanent goodbye.
Yeah, it's
Before
pretty good.
you walk, oh yeah, we're inviting him to the wedding.
Yes.
Jeremy, with Jeremy,
And Jeremy, I guess.
and Jeremy. They're coming to the wedding.
And we're gonna be mocking his little self while in the wedding too.
The four of you walked up the neighborhood street as one, tired smiles covering your familiar faces around you. The wind gently blew by and sand dragged behind you, and a hard grasped feeling of contentment carried you through to the end of this road. It was a good night. After that, Shell disappeared from the Sunset Bird once again, and though this time it wasn't heartbreaking or hard to understand, this time it was just another part of life. And it helped that Liz had her own phone and laptop and could easily check up on him from time to time. That was nice too. Okay, that's it for Serendipity.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was nice seeing Shiloh again.
Yeah, and it's very
and
interesting to meet Jeremy again.
Yeah, it was
And opinions
ironically
changing.
weird. Yeah, it's kind of ironically weird that we saw Jeremy again and me like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I actually like, dang, I actually like I like Jeremy now. I didn't like him as like when he was
Of
younger,
course.
but this is like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just that changing in opinions type of thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when
Yeah.
I played this by myself too, I did that too. It's like, yeah, he's actually pretty chill. I guess I would hang out with him a bit more.
like now, like I would probably be like that type of person to help him out and be like, okay, let's
Yeah.
stop being like depressed and stuff and actually have some
and
fun.
let's not push the potential friends away.
Right?
You know, it's nice.
Yeah.
Don't cut us off. We still want to
Yeah.
be friends.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, that was a good moment, and I guess that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
We thank you guys for watching, and please like it and subscribe. And
yeah.
Also check out and also support GB Patch by checking the links down below to where to get the game and such, and also support her on Patreon if you can.
Yeah.
But
it'll be
yeah, with
great.
that said, that's it, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.